TikTok. 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 Okay. TikTok. TikTok.
Okay, so I just woke up. It's Sunday morning. Let's see what's happening on TikTok right now. Ah! Oh my God! A law banning TikTok has been enacted in the U.S. Unfortunately, that means you can't use TikTok for now. We are fortunate that President Trump has indicated that he will work with us on a solution to reinstate TikTok once he takes office. Please stay tuned. Oh my God, what am I supposed to do?
What's looking like?
To the left,
Yeah.
tú estás loco. Por cojones.
Don't do that. That shit turn me on though, kid.
Of course.
How many you got? Why you huffing and puffing?
Because I got 6.
God damn to the left.
Why?
I mean, I ain't trying to deal with that shit.
Nigga, you ain't got to deal with that shit. I take care of mine, nigga.
You got 6 kids.
Yes, and I take care of mine. You ain't got to take care of mine.
Yeah, okay, right. Yeah, I'm still good.
So to the left,
Yeah.
tú estás loco. Por cojones.
Don't do that. That shit turn me on though, kid. I ain't gonna lie. Come on, get up out of here. Get up. Come on, baby.
To the right. It ain't to the left. To the right. To the right, nigga.
Security. Hey, get our ass. I done heard about that. Hey. They ass be crazy.
Oye, puñeta, tú estás loco para el carajo, de verdad.
God damn it, get your ass on the right then.
Hey, thank you, papi.
You were a wonderful experience.
You were everything. Where are you going?
You know, I showed up at your softball game. Now I need you to show up at the campaign office. Again, I'll say, you know, the election didn't turn out like we wanted it to. Certainly not as we planned for it to. But understand that the work we put into it was about empowering people. That's the spirit with the work we did.
So I woke up this morning and I was checking the usual notifications that I get as soon as I woke up. And sure enough, this was like one of the first things that simply popped up on my notifications. So this was a story about 2 days ago, and it's from the BBC. It's called The Women Tackling Loneliness by Speed Mating. Now, I want to keep you reminded that the ban on TikTok is supposed to go through within the next 48 hours. So we have no idea what the withdrawal symptoms are going to look like for these women. And I want you to also keep in mind something else. Valentine's Day is coming up. Right now, it is we're going on to Martin Luther King's birthday, Inauguration Day. That's January 20th. And that's Monday. Today is Saturday. So the ban on TikTok is supposed to happen tomorrow. You've got January 20th coming up. And then not very long after that, we've got Valentine's Day coming up. So all of these social media platforms, one thing I've always noticed is that, you know, you used to have like women posting video clips and posting photos and whatnot of their Valentine's Day dinner with their man. But one thing I've noticed is over the recent years, these Valentine's Day posts have gone a bit empty. It's like you don't see them. In fact, most of these women that be talking smack about how they're not getting dates and this, that, and the other, it's like their channels just go dark. It's just like they just go black. Now, you know me, I've posted videos or clips or community chat photos on Valentine's Day of when I take my chick out for dinner. But one thing I've noticed is a lot of these chicks ain't got nobody to take them out. I don't see all these posts about getting these big boxes of chocolate. I don't see the rooms filled with flowers like you see like when you're watching these movies. And I certainly don't see all of these dates and stuff to the local Italian restaurant or to Fogo de Chao and all that. I don't see that. And now I'm wondering if TikTok goes under, where are they going to go to complain? Now, I know some of them are going to get together with the girls and they're going to have Galentine's Day, which, we all know is a joke. But for the most part, I don't see too many of those posts. And now that TikTok's about to be erased from the face of this earth, I don't know where they're going to go in order to vent. So anyway, this story is the women tackling loneliness by speed dating. So let's take a real close look right here. So we got this one right here. Okay, and she's got the hijab on. Okay, all right, not bad. We got this one right here. It looks like another one got that hijab. She got that hijab. She's going to make you some of that halal meat. Oh, I like that. Let's see what we got back here. We got this one back here hiding. Okay, we got this one right here. We got Karen right back there. Okay, we got this one right here, front and center. Got this one right here. Okay, here we go. Okay. I don't know if this is, I guess this is the UK, I guess. I don't know. We got Keisha right here. Okay, we got this one back here. She's, I don't know why people do that thing with the fingers in the photos. I don't know who started that nonsense. I really don't know. We got these Indian girls right here. This must be the UK. It probably is the UK. We got these Indian girls right here. They know how to make that mango lassi. Okay, so apparently, despite all these lovely ladies, apparently they're single. And apparently they're single and they need to tackle their loneliness by speed mating. Now, notice it doesn't say speed dating. It says speed mating. Now, as far as I know from biology class, mating is like copulation and the act of actually having sex and whatnot and, reproducing. So not speed dating, speed mating. Just keep that in mind. All right, it says, after finishing university and moving back to Birmingham, Kifa Gabidon, I guess, struggled to make friends when she started work. The 22-year-old had a job in the tech industry, which she described as a male-dominated field, and said she did not have any women around her. I looked around to see if I could find any female friends, but I couldn't, so I thought I'm going to have to create something. Eager to find her clique, Miss Gabidon created a community group for women in May called Space for Girls. It encourages like-minded women to meet up and take part in a range of activities such as running sessions. Well, that there's nothing wrong with that. Meals out and hiking. Here, I have a better idea. How about a cooking? Instead of getting meals out, like going to buy food, I have a better idea. How about you'll get together and teach each other how to cook? That sounds like a great idea because, I think all these women, if they knew how to make like mango lassi, if they knew how to make oxtail stew, the way that Tropical Jerk, the Jamaican restaurant, makes it, if they knew how to make lasagna, if they knew how to make all of these signature meals, something tells me that their loneliness would end really, really quickly. But anyway, the group has since attracted more than 8,000 followers on Instagram and a WhatsApp community of more than 1,500 women. Before she started the group, Ms. Gabidon said she had no one, adding, it was a really difficult time to go through. But she said she had since realized many women of her age were going through the same thing. It's a common feeling, this emptiness and this loneliness. And to know we're here to support each other definitely helps. Okay, so we got this one. We got Kifa. So instead of Keisha, we got Kifa. Kifa Gabidon set up the group after struggling with loneliness. Now, I have a question. Why is this chick right here lonely? Like, where's the man? And then you have to think, you're like, wait a minute. If there's no man there, then she must be the problem. Because you gotta, like, why are you lonely? You're talking about like struggling with loneliness. It's like you wouldn't be lonely if you knew how to make oxtail. Now here's my other question. Is that hair real right there? Let's see this. I don't know. Let's see. Something tells me that might not be real. Yeah, I don't know. That might be part of the problem, Kiefer. I don't have the greatest eye for what are those things called, weaves, but I don't know. I believe that there is a direct mathematical correlation between the realness of a woman's hair and the likeliness that she's married. I think there's a direct correlation. But anyway, the group hold speed mating events, which use the same concept as speed dating, but for people to make friends. What? All right, anyway. Susanna Jones went to one of their recent events and said she had found it difficult to make friends as a young person. Before joining the group, I would never strike up a conversation on the train or in the gym, but when you know there are other people looking for friends and are open to get to know you, it makes it easier, she added. Now, this is one of the things that okay, you know what? Kiefer Gabadon is the person who took the photos. Oh, wait a minute. That's not the same person, is it? No. Nope, it's not the same person. All right, so this person's name is Susanna Jones, said she found it difficult to make friends before joining this group. All right, first of all, let me let you in on a little secret, and this might be actually obvious. If you're in the gym or you're in the cafeteria and there's people who are there alone, chances are you could, I don't know, this is a tough one, but you could go out on a limb and say, oh, hey, would you like a workout partner? And this was always, actually, this is something I thought of. One of the problems with these gyms and a lot of these places that people go typically, specifically the gyms, because a lot of people have all of a sudden, they start going into the gym, especially these women. They're going in there to do these ass exercises so that they can advertise themselves on TikTok and Instagram. And the thing that occurred to me is like, I've noticed that a lot of people at the gym are working out alone. And one of the other things is most of these gyms, they have retention problems. And when I say retention problems, people don't go regularly, for one. And then on top of that, they also have trouble keeping people members because eventually people say, you know what, I'm spending all this money, I'm not losing any weight, and it's boring going to the gym. So what they do is they stop going and then they cancel their subscription. So it occurred to me that what maybe these gyms should do, especially with the gyms that have these apps, maybe what they should do is they should have a space on the app that says, hey, would you like a workout friend or partner or something? I don't know how they would phrase it. You could say workout partner. And then, okay, so they'd be like, okay, let's have a chain of questions. Would you like a workout partner? And then, would you like that workout partner to be a male or female? Right? And then, what is your sexual orientation? Gay, straight, bi, or whatever. And then, what age group would you like your workout partner to be? Now, if you ask a couple of questions similar to like a dating site, it seems to me that the gyms themselves could create, I don't want to say that it's a dating site, but the gyms themselves could create a space for like quote unquote workout partners, right? And this way, people who say, yes, I'd like to have, a workout partner, that would help people at the gym meet each other. And maybe they could take it a little further and be like, okay, what race, ethnicity, or religion would you like your workout partner to be? And the bottom line is, it's like you could say, yeah, I'm open to different races, or I'm open to different religions, or I'm open to different ethnic groups or whatever. And they could do that themselves, and that might actually help their retention rate. Because the problem is, one thing, again, I've noticed when you go to the gym, everybody's like working out alone. Now, there are a couple of people who have maybe a friend or a partner that they come with, But my thinking is, what about the people who are in the gym already and everybody's doing their own thing? They've got their headphones on. Nobody talks to each other. And that's part of the other problem. Like, these people always wonder, oh, why am I so lonely? I don't have any friends. Because, that's quickly becoming a big problem. Like, Better Bachelor, for example, he's talking about how the government is targeting incels, right? Never mind the LGBT members of the community that decided to go and commit crimes using AR-15 rifles. But he's saying that now the government claims that they're targeting the incel community because they're the ones most likely to pick up an AR-15 and go out and do some shit. So the reality is, my thinking is, it's like, wait a minute, if y'all are so lonely, you're lonely because, first of all, when you go to the gym, you're sitting there on a fucking cell phone and you're watching YouTube the whole time or listening to music, and you've got those things in your ears, and nobody wants to approach you, nobody wants to talk to you because the first thing they think is, I'm interrupting this person. So it's like everybody is insular. Everybody's in their own little world. You've got these noise-canceling headphones. You got these fucking gigantic noise-canceling AirPod Maxes on. And you've got these things covered up your ears and covered up your head. And then you're staring at your phone the whole time. Most of these people go to the gym. I would argue that about 50% of the time at the gym is wasted using a cell phone. I would argue that because I watch people, they spend more time staring at their phone and answering calls and retexting people who are asking where they are than they do actually using the equipment. I've seen this so many times. Some of the gyms have put up signs that says, the equipment is for reps, not texts. And my thinking is, it's like, I don't think people really understand just how much social media is like separating people or causing people to just be insular. I don't think people understand that, but I see it. I saw what life was like before it, and I see what life is like with it. That's part of the reason why when they banned TikTok, I'm going to enjoy watching these women go through withdrawal. So anyway, let's keep going. It says, who's this? Wait a minute. Oh, okay. Catherine Hale started going to Space for Girls event, even coming across a video on TikTok. She regularly attends the running club on Tuesday evenings, which she said has helped her with her anxiety and made it easier to meet new people without having long face-to-face conversations. Here, I have a secret for you. The long face-to-face conversations, that's what helps you meet people. Like, I don't know. I just got to let you in on a secret. All right, it's just nice to have that support, even though you don't necessarily know everybody, she added. Just knowing that if you're having a bad day, you can pop a message in a group chat or individually and they can help you through it. It's made a huge difference. Meaningful connections. A recent survey by mental health charity Mind revealed 54% of people across the West Midlands said they preferred to put on a brave face to avoid talking about their mental health. All right, you know what? Let me just say this real quickly. I got into an argument with one of these dudes online who has a big channel, and he's a pilot, or I should say he's a retired pilot, right? I'm not going to name names. But I got into an argument with this dude because this dude, he's up there trying to, I think there was an incident where like a mental health suffering pilot or whatever crashed a plane. And this guy is up there talking about, oh, well, if you have a mental health issue, you should go in and you should say that you have a mental health issue. And you should report yourself, or we call it snitch on yourself. And you should get the help that you need. And then I texted messages. I messaged this guy. I sent him a message on the comments. And I was like, yeah, because if I had a mental health issue, the first thing I'd want to do is let my superiors know it so that this way now they're going to look at me with suspicion, possibly strip me of my duties and my job. And now I'm in a situation where I can't make money because I've been like either laid off or I've been targeted for laid off because now they don't trust me. Then he argues back with me that, you're the last person I'd come to if I wouldn't come to you for any advice. And I'm like, dude, you're like, like I respect the fact that you flew military jets. I respect the fact that you flew commercial airliners and all this shit. But hey, asshole, the simple fact is nobody's going to snitch on themselves. That's the simple fact. The way we live in a society where you have two types of people, you have two types of mental health issues. You've got one where they put on a happy face, and then you have the others where they don't give a fuck and they just let you know that they're crazy. That's what we have. Like here in New York, we deal with the two extremes. In other states where there's fewer people and people don't really know each other that much and people aren't forced into small, tight spaces with each other, in those places, yes, people probably just put on a happy face and they try to pretend like they're normal. But here in New York, again, we have the people who put on that happy face and pretend they're normal, but then we have these other people who let you know that they're crazy. And when I say let you know that they're crazy, they're the people standing on the corner talking shit out loud, screaming. They're the people who are on the train who will push you in front of a fucking train when it comes into the station. They're the people who will set you on fire when you're on a train. You're sleeping on a train and you wake up on fire, like California. Then you got the other people who, like I've been on the train, like I've been on the A train, and you'll see people. I swear to God, I can't make this up. I was on the A train, and this dude, it was a big dude with a beard, and he walked through. I swear to God, this guy was wearing a ballerina tattoo. What is it called? A tutu? A ballerina tutu. He was wearing a ballerina tutu, and he was walking through the train. Please help me. Please help. And I was like, what the fuck? And I'm like, why did the cops allow this shit? Why did they allow these people to be on the trains? Now, back in those days, now that was like maybe back in the 2000s, right? Back in those days, yeah, there were mentally ill people on the train all the time. Like you've seen the videos. You see people pissing on the train, like right in front of everybody. Like you've seen people you've seen the videos. Like I couldn't make this shit up. You've seen enough videos to know that I'm telling the truth, especially in New York. But I'm like, why do they allow these people to be on a fucking train? Like all the cops have to do is come in, pluck them off the train, and then regular people be able to get on with their day. Now, George Carlin had a joke real quickly. George Carlin had a joke. He said the rich people do none of the work and they pay none of the taxes. Then he said the middle class does all of the work and they pay all of the taxes. And then he said the reason why the poor people are around is to scare the shit out of the middle class and keep you showing up to those jobs. So my belief is at this point is poor people and mentally ill people are purposefully socialized with us and kept right in front of us so that the moment that you get tired of working and you think that you could just quit, it reminds you, it's like, oh shit, if I do, I'm going to end up like this motherfucker over here. So I believe that's what they're doing. I believe that this is purposeful because if it was me, I'd pull these motherfuckers right off the train. I got people, I've showed you videos. You got people who are literally trying to start that tent city bullshit here in New York. Now, mind you, the temperature right now outside is about 28 degrees, right? 28 degrees Fahrenheit. The difference between California and New York is if you try that homelessness shit when you're outside here, you freeze to death. Your bones freeze. The water in your body freezes, right? Thing about it is, in California, yeah, it's typically like 70 degrees. Like, it doesn't really get that cold there, right? But now I'm starting to see tents popping up here. And I've put pictures in my community chat. Now I'm starting to see people put up tents and sit outside where they've set up these public Wi-Fi antennas. And they have like an outlet where you can charge a phone. And now these motherfuckers are sitting there and they're trying to start that tent city shit in middle-class neighborhoods. You know, and the thing about it is that before you know it, not only does your homelessness grow, then your mental illness rates grow. And now you got to worry about you being on a train, somebody trying to set you on fire. And if it hadn't happened, you would think that I'm using hyperbole. But it did happen twice within the last month. So anyway, where am I? Okay, it says Rachel McNair from Birmingham said community groups Well, it says Birmingham Mind. Okay, so that must be a company. It said community groups like Space for Girls were important in helping people to open up. There's a huge gap in services for people who are looking to make meaningful connections, especially for younger people across the city. Okay, so there's a couple of gaps here. In fact, wait a minute. I think that's it. What is it? Wait a minute. That's it. What is it with these short ass articles? It's like I thought we were going somewhere. What's going on here? Okay, so anyway, this chick right here, she's lonely. So and I don't know why she's so lonely, because she's kind of cute. She got real hair. You can see, like, I could look right there, and I can see that hair's going into those pores. And I don't understand why are you lonely? Like, it doesn't make sense. Now, first of all, women are a bunch of backstabbers. When women get together and they got these little groups, like, I always watch them, because I observe human behavior, right? When these women got these groups, the problem is these women are backstabbers. That's why they don't stay friends. That's why they ultimately need a man, and that's why they ultimately keep these very small groups of women. These women are backstabbers. If you bring your female friend and you're female and you bring her around your man, chances are she's going to try to screw him. She's going to wait until you're busy or not there, and she's going to get your man into a quiet room, and next thing you know, you've got a baby coming, and she's the one having it. So no. Women, I understand why, and men are kind of the same way. It's like men get close, but the problem is the closer they get, sooner or later, your male friend, he's going to try to screw your chick. It doesn't matter how ugly, how old, or how worn the WAP is. It really doesn't matter. And if you're his friend, then she's going to assume that he's similar to you. So just in case anything happens to you, she's going to expect him to pick up the tab and start taking care of her. And next thing you know, he's moved in with her, and they're having more children than you and her had in the first place. So that's but nobody trusts each other. That's the bottom line. And these women, and I've seen so many of these females fighting online. I've seen so many of these females fighting in real life. I've seen girl fights. It's always over a boy, always over a guy. So what I'm saying is not fake. You've seen it. You've seen all these women go into each other's houses, just fight each other in front of the house. You've seen this. Like, I can't make this shit up. That's part of nobody trusts each other. And the social media is part of it. And you know why? The social media is part of it because now you got these girls you see a chick like this, most females, they don't want a chick like this around their man. Whether that hair is real or not, what'll happen is, like, oh, she'll be your friend, and then she'll meet your man, your husband, your boyfriend, whatever it is. Next thing you know, she's in your DMs. And she's in his DMs. And she's talking to him, oh, yeah, and then just shooting the bullshit. And next thing you know, she's screwing him. Nobody trusts each other. And I personally believe that a lot of this mistrust and a lot of this lack of friendship, I think it's due to social media. I really do. I think it's due to social media. I think between Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, I think they got us fucked up. I really do. I think they've destroyed trust between men and women. I think they've destroyed trust between women and women. I think they've destroyed trust between men and men. I really, really believe that. So, there's nothing you can really do about it because social media is pretty much here to stay. It's like I'm getting text messages right now from freaking Instagram. I'm looking at the top. I'm getting text messages coming in. And and believe me, and let me tell you something. I can't make that shit up about women cheating. I can't make it up because the thing about it is, even in my DM, if you could see my DMs, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I got DMs where you got these females and you met their friends, so of course you Facebook friend them too, or you Instagram friend them too, or you TikTok friend them too. Next thing you know, they in your DM. Oh yeah, this, that, and the other. Next thing you know, it starts. Now she starts telling you shit that you shouldn't know. Or now she starts telling you stuff about her. It's like, wait a minute, why are you telling me this? Like I shouldn't know when you're ovulating. You're not supposed to tell me stuff like that. You wouldn't believe how many times Like, there've been married women, there've been single women who are friends in the DMs, and it's like, listen, you're not supposed to be telling me when you're ovulating. I'm not supposed to know that. Why are you telling me this? But that's what I'm talking about. I think social media has destroyed the trust. I really do. I think social media has destroyed the trust. I applaud the countries that have taken active steps to ban this shit. You know, certain social medias are no good. They're really no good, especially TikTok. And that's why TikTok is on its way out. And we got these Indian chicks right here. And this one right here in the red, she looks like she knows how to make some mean mango lassi. She looks like she could make that beef biryani and that mango lassi. She looks like she could make some serious doy. Oh, yeah. I could tell right away she ain't lonely. But that's the thing, you see. It's like all of them are competing. This is competition right here. All of them are competition. Except this one right here on the side. This one right here on the side. Notice how she's keeping a distance from everybody else. And this one back here hiding. You see? Those are what you got to watch out for right there. But, yeah, there's not really much to this story. I thought there was more. I guess there's not. But, yeah, that's what it is, guys. They're trying to do this speed mating. And let me also tell you something. Because they're all women, you know that this group ain't going nowhere. It'll go, they'll hang, they'll talk to each other for a couple of years. But the next thing you know, Jamila right here and a couple of them will get men and husbands. Next thing you know, they're out of those groups. They're gone. Now, there'll be a couple of them who get left behind. The Chinese call them Sheng Yu. But there'll be a couple of them who, because you already know which ones are going to get men right away. Okay, she's going to get a husband right away. That one's going to get a husband right away. That one right there, too, she's going to get a husband right away. This one right here in the back, she's going to get a husband right away. Yep. You already know. You already know exactly who's going to get the husbands right away. You know. Now, that one right there, the one who looks like Joffrey Baratheon from Game of Thrones, nah, she ain't getting a husband right away. Nah, not unless she knows how to cook. She's got to cook very well. But that's the thing. And all of these chicks right here, all of them are going to get married right away. All of them, they're probably going to be married before they're even 25. Yeah, before they're 25, they all get married, especially this chick in the red. I know she's probably already married. Let me see that ring. Yep. You see all the rings? Yep. I think one of them's a wedding ring. It looks like it. Yep. She looks married, too. Yep. Uh-huh. So as soon as they get married, all of a sudden, they're not going to have time to be on those groups. They got to cook for their husband. They got to take care of the kids. And they got to pick them up from soccer practice. So you already know. You already know what it is. But that's what it is right there. So BBC, your article's a week. It's like, I thought there was more. There's not. So let's just keep looking forward to the end of TikTok. We just got like 48 hours, less than 48 hours, and it's all over. Whenever I mention news stories, I usually talk about like two news stories. Now, I just want you to show there's a difference in how different governments care about their people, and there's a difference in how governments spend their money. So here in America, we're wasting all our money. Israel, Ukraine, Lockheed Martin, we're spending all our money on the F-35, and we're spending it on the B-2 Spirit and stuff that we're never going to use. The reason why we're never going to use that stuff is because, first of all, there are no countries out there who can afford to fight us with aircraft as expensive and as sophisticated as we have. And number two, the only two countries out there who even come close to spending that kind of money on their military-industrial complex are China and Russia. And if we ever got into a fight using aircraft like this, we'd end up in a nuclear war. And that wouldn't last very long. Like, it would be a very quick nuclear exchange and then everybody's dead. Number 3, all of those poor countries out there, none of them can afford to buy all of that high-tech equipment. That's why, like, we don't even bother exporting this stuff because these other countries really can't afford it. And they don't want it either. It's like they don't want, like, buying an F-35 is like, you know, selling a poor person a Lamborghini. It's like they can't keep up the maintenance on that shit. But anyway, that's how we're spending our money. Meanwhile, the Danish government, and I'm not saying I agree with this, but the Danish government pays for its disabled citizens, as you can see, to, how should I say, sleep with prostitutes. Really? Yeah, now this is an old story. It's a very old story, but I just wanted to mention it because I wanted to prove that it's true. I can't make this shit up. I just wanted to prove it's true. The Danish government is under attack for paying its disabled citizens to screw with the prostitutes. The official sex irrespective of disability campaign pays sex workers to provide sex once a month. Once a month for disabled people. Really? That's amazing. Okay, yeah, you got to read more, but you got to go to Anna Nova News. So anyway, wait. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, they covered this story a couple of times. This, apparently, they just put a highlight in the Huffington Post. Here, back as far as 2005, they talked about this for the Danes. Oh, God, they want me to sign up. I don't want to sign up for nothing. I don't want to sign up. Okay, so anyway, yeah, I basically just wanted to mention that just so you understood that it was true. But, okay, right here. Torben, oh, God, look at this. It's like you get bombarded with shit. I don't want to sign up for nothing. I'm not signing up for nothing. It says many people would agree with Torben Wegner Hansen's views on sex. It makes me feel good. It makes me more dynamic. Having sex isn't as important as food, but it is his insistence that sex is a human right that has led him. Oh my God. Why is everything a human right now? So you got some of these people over here saying that food is a human right. You got some of these people. What country is that? What country is that? There's a country that actually says that food is a human right. I think it's Brazil. Brazil, they claim that food is a human right. You got these other people claiming housing is a human right. And that, what is this? Now sex is a human right. It's like, this is incredible. It's like everything. Now they want to rewrite all the constitutions now. Oh my God. And by the way, no, the answer is no. These are not rights. These are not rights. And the reason why they're not rights is because if it was a right, then that would mean that someone else would have to provide it for you. If you're going to tell me that sex is a human right, and that would make the female or the male who has to provide it for you, that would make them a slave. That's the reason why, no, it's not a right. Now, I'm a registered Republican. I vote that way for the most part at this point. I could easily say that I'm also an independent in most cases. But then again, you never hear people on the right talking this bullshit about all these rights that aren't rights. If someone else has to provide you something, it's not a right, because that would make them your slave. It's just not. I'm sorry, it's not. It's just like where they're trying to force through certain things and say that they're medical rights. No, they're not. Because the doctor's not a slave. You can't force a doctor to provide you with a service that doctor has an ethical or moral right, and he actually has the right to decline under his First Amendment rights. For example, for these people who suddenly want to, they get old, they get sick, and they want assisted suicides, you can't force a doctor to go through with it. You can't force them to do that. The doctor has already sworn that he will do no harm. So you can't force him to provide you with that service. Just like these women who, and every time you hear them with this bullshit, it changes. They change what they say. 1 minute it's right to choose. Now it's a woman's right over her body. And now they never mention the fact that the fetus as a human should have rights. They never mention that because they want to claim it's not a human. But the bottom line is, you couldn't force a doctor to provide you with an early termination fee or subscription. You like whatever you want to call it to get around YouTube censorship. You can't force a doctor to provide you that. No, it's not a human right. It's not. So, I hope I've made myself clear. But anyway, Wagner Hansen, 59, who has cerebral palsy, is fighting to force the Danish state to subsidize visits to his home by... Oh, my God. Wow. Now, could you imagine going into the Congress and sitting in front of these people and saying, this should be all right. I need you to make sure that they come by my house because I can't go out because I'm shaking most of the time because I got cerebral palsy. I can't really I can't even make it to the door. So you're going to have to come to my house. You're going to have to come upstairs. I'll just ring the doorbell. This is just remarkable. Denmark's social law provides for me to be compensated. Really? So now you deserve payment for the expenses I incur because of my hand. What? He said it should therefore cover my right to a sex life. Wow. Wagner Hansen, a former social worker, lives alone in an adapted one-bedroom flat. He travels about Aarhus City Center using an electric wheelchair. The local council pays him to receive 37 hours practical help every week. His speech is impaired, but he uses the phone and internet. I need to have sex to feel like a normal human being. He says over coffee and biscuits. I have a girlfriend at the moment, so I do not need to see prostitutes. But if I didn't have Vivia, I would want sex at least twice a month. Well, first it's one time a month. Next thing you know, it's twice a month. Next thing you know, this guy's going to want it twice a day. But this, you see right here, I don't even have to really continue with this because you can read the whole thing yourself, especially if you are one of these people who subscribe to these stupid subscriptions. But understand something. Going on this thing of loneliness, this is ultimately the reason why you have to be careful how far you allow the government to get involved, especially when it comes to mental illness, mental health, and also you have to be careful of these people who start standing up and saying everything's all right now. Now, the simple fact is the taxpayers have to pay for this shit. Now, the taxpayers probably don't want to pay for this, for one. And second of all, many of them probably have religious values that say that they shouldn't be paying for this. This is the reason why I don't want the government involved. If you have deals between two people and it's private and the government is not involved, I don't have a problem with that. And first of all, it's going to happen anyway, simply because two people have the ability to keep it silent and private. And the reality is that's what pure capitalism really looks like. Capitalism is supposed to be an agreement between two or more people. Just people, not governments. Capitalism might be as simple as somebody who says, hey, you've got snow and I have a shovel, and I'm willing to come and expend my capital to shovel your snow. And all I ask is that you pay me a specific amount of money. Right then and there, that's pure capitalism. And that's it. It's a very simple agreement, a contractual agreement between two people. You come here, you shovel my snow. You come here, you wash my car. You come here, you mow my lawn. And I just hand you a certain amount of money that we've pre-agreed upon. And that's it. The government steps in, and now it becomes socialism right away. Because the government is like, oh, well, you really need us to make sure that he pays you. And you also need us to make sure that he does a good job mowing your lawn or washing your car and doesn't scratch your car, blah, blah, blah. But in the meantime, you need to pay us taxes because, our services cost money. So now you have this third entity coming in and they demand taxes. And don't believe that for a second. Don't believe that those taxes aren't going to go up. Yeah, they're going to go up. As soon as the government gets involved, oh, yeah, the taxes start. Oh, yeah, well, we're just charging you 25 cents. Next thing you know, it's 50 cents, 75 cents, $1. Now it's 30% of your goddamn income. And you didn't even see it coming. Now you're the fucking slave. But that's how it works. And maybe I'm really a libertarian. Perhaps that's what it really comes down to. Maybe I'm more a libertarian than a Republican. But the bottom line is, it's like, I don't want the government involved at all. It's just like with this marijuana shit. Now, they did their experiment. They tried marijuana here in New York. All of a sudden, the corner stores are selling all this illegal cannabis. They're selling all these bullshit illegal products that is made in some basement somewhere where somebody has a 3D printer and they have the ability to make labels. And they're growing this shit and then they're lacing it with fentanyl. And the government decided that they were going to allow marijuana at first. Now they're cracking down on most of these dispensaries because they started selling all this illegal shit when the marijuana, the actual profit margin went down because now everybody's selling it. So the reality is, it's like as soon as government gets involved with shit, everything goes to pot. Why do I mention that? Why do I say all that? Well, understand something. Better Bachelor, he did this story where he talked about the incels were being watched by the government. The last thing you want, and I see it happening in California right now because they're the people who come up with all this stupid communist bullshit. But anyway, when the government gets involved on that level, the reality is now you are moving closer and closer to a George Orwell state. To go back to that pilot that I mentioned that I was arguing with, yeah, asshole, nobody is going to snitch on themselves. People who have mental illness, they live in fear of people finding out about it. They live in fear of people, treating them differently because they say, yeah, this guy's crazy, so I don't want to be around him. They live in fear of being targeted by whoever employs them. Police might be an example. If police see people who've been killed, police see people who've had their heads split open in car accidents, and I'm pretty sure, yes, they have lots of mental issues because of that. I'm pretty sure they have post-traumatic stress disorder. But there's a lot of people who have post-traumatic stress disorder. A whole lot of people have post-traumatic stress disorder that you'll never know about because they put on the happy face and they go out about their day and they try to do the best that they can in order to not be discovered while still getting a paycheck. Meanwhile, you have the real mentally ill, and the real mentally ill don't give a fuck, and they let you know it right up front. So you've got basically those two dichotomies. You got those two extremes, those two dynamics. So the simple fact is, if the government gets involved, all of a sudden, first of all, your taxes are going to go up. They have to, because now you have another agency that's doing this bullshit and monitoring people. But then on top of that, people lose their freedoms. Now, you would try to argue that the government keeps us safe and all that. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. The government doesn't keep you any safer than a concealed carrier with a legal permit to carry keeps you safe. The government, because first of all, if something goes down, you got to get on the phone, dial 911. You got to wait for the cops to get there. God knows how to. Sometimes that might take 5 minutes. Sometimes it takes 20. In some cases, we've seen the cops get called. The cops wait outside because they're afraid to go in because they can hear that gunfire going off. And they're like, yeah, I don't think my vest can stop that. So they don't even want to go in the building. We've seen it happen. I can't make this up. Reality is, no, the government doesn't protect you. They're nothing more than after-the-fact evidence gatherers who tax you up front and who provide lackluster justice services after the fact. So, the bottom line is these stories really are connected. In one, you're talking about people with loneliness, and you're talking about this mental illness issue, and then you're talking about like people who are trying to get, government sanctioned prostitution. All of this is related. And you can't ever make the mistake of thinking that it's not related. What it leads to is bigger government, more taxes, and less freedom. So I would say that the best thing for you is you gotta, take your freedom into your own hands. You gotta stop, you gotta get off these goddamn social medias and stop letting this shit keep you separated from everybody else. Because eventually the government's gonna get in between y'all, and now you're gonna have even more problems than you had before. And your taxes are gonna go up. That's a big problem. So basically, that's just 2 stories. I could keep going because I could use the stories that Better Bachelor was using, but I think you get the point.
Trans girls are girls. And for all the folks that are so concerned, thank you for your concern about women for the first time that I've seen. I don't know about y'all. I don't know who's been to gym class lately, but girls, even if you only believe in 2 genders, I've played co-ed sports all the time.
Oh, yeah!
Welcome back. The next president of the United States.
To be continued.